Today, I'm sitting down with Jordan Michiels. Jordan is 23 years old and recently purchased his first home, something a lot of people today say is impossible for young people. The reality is, buying real estate is definitely harder for this generation than it was for myself or even my parents, but it's not impossible. Jordan proved that with discipline, saving, and the right strategy, it can still be done today. So, today we're going to talk about how he did it, what sacrifices he took, and what other young people can learn from his journey. So let his story motivate you and realize that home ownership and real estate investing is possible. I'm excited to interview a young man named Jordan Michiels who purchased a home at 23 years old. Welcome, Jordan.
Thanks, Gino.
Let's just start out. We said you're 23 years old. So what do you do for work?
I just completed my apprenticeship as an electrician, so I've been an apprentice for 5, 6 years now.
And so when you're 23 years old, what type of home did you buy?
Starter home. It's just outside London, right outside, and built in the '40s. It's an older home, fixer upper, but it's got good bones, and it was in my price range.
And so let's be totally honest here. Do you come from money?
No, no. My parents, I was raised thrifty. They were good with their money as well, and I think I got a lot of knowledge from them on how to manage my money just off of growing up, seeing how they save money here and there and how they can make it go farther.
That's great. So you had a pretty good influence from your parents when it came to money, but they didn't give you a silver spoon in your mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that we wanted, if we were walking through the store or something like that when we were younger, mom and dad would always, well, save your money and we'll come back and grab it once you have enough.
I love it. Well, we're talking about money. Let's get to that point. So break it down for us so we understand how much money did you need to purchase this house?
I put 20% of the house value down. Now that amount I'd been saving, I've been working full time, like I said, 5, 6 years. Before that, I worked at the London Ski Hill as a dishwasher for years, and I saved pretty much 50 to 75% of my income.
50 to 75%. That's
It's
pretty
very
good.
aggressive,
That's, yeah,
but
remarkable.
I'm not saying you need to save that much necessarily. Like I definitely went overboard. You know, it's okay to spend money as well, but I'm a saver. I just like saving.
And when you say saving, is that under your mattress? Did you invest that money? A little bit of both?
90% of that I'd say was invested.
90% were invested. Yeah, good for
Yeah.
you. And you started that at the age of 17. You started saving your money.
Yeah, I started saving, right around 17, 16 years old.
Yeah, you're definitely an anomaly in that front. But
Thanks.
the very reason why I wanted to interview is because I wanted to show people that it is possible, that it's difficult. And you even save 20%, and it is possible to do with 5%. You'd obviously have to pay the CMHC fees, but you
Yes.
still would have been able to do it with 5% down. So good for you for saving the full 20
Thanks.
over a long
Yeah.
period of time. And so you were telling me earlier that it wasn't necessarily your goal to buy a house. You just were a thrifty saver right from a young age. And so you didn't really have a plan for that money, did you?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I was taught from a young age saving was good, and in the future, I didn't know what that money was going to go towards, but I knew it was for something in my future, and I figured save now, and I've always thought a little bit ahead when I was younger about retirement, even though I'd hardly started working, but I just knew I want to enjoy my life, and if I work harder now, then I can hopefully end sooner.
That's right. And you'll get the rewards after the fact, that's for sure. So when did you realize that renting wasn't for you, that you wanted to put this money to owning? Was there a reason you thought that, or is just a mindset?
I think right away, once you turn 18 or you're living in mom and dad's house, I got two brothers, so it starts to get pretty tight in the house. And you get that mindset right away. Oh, I got to get out of here. I got to move out. But then you look at rent prices, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. Like I'm spending all that money and it's gone. Essentially, at the end of the month, that money you're starting fresh. You don't you're not building equity anywhere. So I thought pretty well right away. I was like, you know what, mom and dad, I like living with them still. I can put up with the little fights here and there, and yeah, we'll just save until we can purchase something. So the money's going towards something and not just down the drain.
Right. And that's a great point. Instead of it just going to your landlord, it's going to your equity. So the money you saved now is working for you, and you're saving or creating some equity in your home. And also, it sounds like you're going to create some sweat equity the fact that the property needs some work so you can add value as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, was there anything that motivated you, like podcasts, books, your parents, which you did mention a little bit? Was there anything or some things that motivated you to head down this road?
That's a good question. I do watch a lot of financial literature online there on YouTube. I find a lot of great YouTubers that post information. Some of it gets repetitive, but I just enjoy it. I also like to check out the compound interest calculators online, just play with them, right? It's fun. It's fun to see what your money could be worth in 15, 20, 30 years, right? So that's motivating too, seeing, hey, if I put this much away every month and I invest it and get, say, 5, 6, 7%, be more conservative just to see what it could grow to. It's shocking.
Yeah, good for you. That's super cool, actually. And that is something that your generation has an advantage of is information. For myself, I would have had to really search for books on all this where you guys can really just dive into YouTube videos on basically any subject you want,
Yeah.
which is something that is an advantage. Were you scared to pull the trigger when, you're such a young man at 23 years old? Were you nervous or scared to pull that trigger?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We were sitting in the backyard. When I say we, it was my dad, my mom, and I, and they were asking me, "Are you sure?" Like I'd already gotten accepted to I had conditions, but the house was essentially mine. And they said, "Are you like this is your last kind of chance, to back out of it? Are you sure this is the right move?" And sitting at that table, you have a lot of thoughts going through your head. It's scared. Like I had no idea really what I was walking into because, like I said, I moved right out from mom and dad's house and into my own place. So it's a big move. It was scary for sure, but I was also very excited. So
Yeah, that's good.
um,
Yeah, you're right. And I
yeah,
think that most people, the first one's nervous as well as excited, and you're going to learn as you go as well. There's going to be some things that come up that you're going to learn, but I
yeah,
think that that's a great message and a good point that you brought up in that I'd like to bring up to some of the listeners who might not know is that what Jordan was talking about was conditions. So he would have had like a financing and a home inspection condition, which allowed
yes,
him to walk away from the property at that point. So he's talking about being this is his last chance to walk away. Should he walk away or pull the trigger and smartly
yeah.
pull the trigger? So, and then what would you say to someone your age that's thinking right now in this market, the way things are, that it's impossible to do it these days? Is there any advice you can give to someone in your age bracket?
I'd say just keep going, and before you buy something, think to yourself, "Hey, do I just want this right now, or is this something that I truly do really want?" Just give yourself some time to think about it. And I remember what helped me too with saving is I would pick like a goal, like $100, right? How fast can I make $100? Okay, well, I only need to do that 10 times to get to 1,000, 10 times to get to 10,000. And then, hey, you hit your goal and just make little goals that you can achieve easily.
Yeah, that's actually a wonderful piece of advice. This to keep those goals small and attainable, but they compound just like the compound interest, like those little
Yeah.
goals compound. And that's a good way to look at it. And I like that. And I think that's going to motivate some people. Now, you're a young man. Would you say you still live some life? Like I'm sure you've skipped some things that your friends were doing, but you've probably still lived some life. So you've probably balanced it, I'm sure. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that
Oh,
without
yeah.
giving us too many details that's going to get you in trouble with your mom?
Yeah, yeah. Well, my hobby's cars. I love cars, so I got a little hobby car, and yeah, it's definitely a bit of a money pit for sure. So every time it needs something, I really think hard about it. And then yeah, motorcycles. I like taking my bike out for a ride, as well as traveling. Went to Alberta there 2 years ago for a little vacation. But there's a way of doing, trips cheaper, or looking for maybe a motel instead of a hotel, or staying with friends. When I went to Alberta, I stayed with my buddies, so I was able to do that trip pretty cheap. And he let me use his car for day trips.
Yeah. And that's great. That's great. Great advice. And I like that. And you still could balance doing things and enjoying life as well as saving. You just have to prioritize the saving first, and then you have money to do the other things. If you're smart with your money, you can do both. So, congratulations on your first home. I think it's amazing for a
Thanks.
young man of 23 years old to do it this day and age. It's not easy, but I'm glad that you're showing people that it's possible. So thanks for coming on for this quick little interview just to share your
Yeah,
story with
thanks.
me.
Thanks for having
Appreciate
me.
it. Yeah, no problem. And good luck. And hopefully your next one's an investment property on the number two.
That's the goal.
All right. Cool. Thanks, buddy.